actually started going wrong. And I'm saying to the families, you have every right not even to forgive us. You've got every right to look angrily at us and say, we've lost our loved ones. Your loss is not a group loss. It's an individual loss. You sit at home, you don't miss a group. You miss your own mother, your own sister alone. And that is where I kept on saying, you can't explain this. In short, we made a mess. We made a mess. The officials that I know that I work with are in a state of sadness. Believe me, Judge, believe me. You know, when a professor called me this morning, he said, you know, Barney, at Josh Mokari, they call me Barney. I've tried very hard to walk away from the title. I said, let's equalize. He said, this morning at about 6, he said, Barney, all that we have been trying to do, that is good. Helping Garangua, that is the old Medunsa, to rise. This big blunder that the department did has cancelled that. It has cancelled all the good things that every time the good men, the good doctors, to the porter in the hospital who work very hard. This tragedy has actually, as time to time we were saying, were you a caring government? It has killed that. I said we were a caring department because I led men and women, doctors, professors of high integrity. But this has completely decimated that. People don't have trust on us. We deliver in excess of 80,000 babies a year, but people don't trust us anymore. When you go to our hospitals,
we do apologize sincerely for losing the audio feed at such a critical time. Dr. Barney Selebano there is giving his closing remarks as the advocate for the state. Advocate Hutamo has finished cross-examining him quite earlier than we had expected for this morning. He just mentioned, first of all, that he wishes to stand out, but we have reconnected with the audio. Let's just go back live to the proceedings.
It's not easy to go to Barney. And thanks God that Mosenuchi may not have said it. We gallantly fought with Mosenuchi again. That we may touch, and we don't. I'm not saying this so that I feel like a big hero now. No, I can never be one. We gallantly fought and said we are not going to touch Barney. Because God save us. If we had just touched Barney, it would have been worse than worse. And I'm asking the families, if you don't forgive us, if you can't find it in your hearts to forgive us, it is because as a person, I understand, I ask myself, would I also forgive? Would I heal that quickly? But I also want to tell you that some of the officials out there are in pain. They may not have touched the patients themselves. Some are even far. They don't deal with mental health, but they say this has brought shame to the department and shame to government. And like I said, you don't want to be a leader. I consider myself a leader. I consider myself an ethical guy who tries very hard under difficult conditions, where there's almost nothing in a department. The doctors, the nurses, the cleaners, the clerks, they wake up and try and try. And when we fail them, we fail everybody. It has been a journey that this is a permanent bracelet around my neck. I know for sure now that even at my old age, the bracelet will never go away. Because it will always be that the loss of life as a demand. Those vulnerable patients demised with Dr. Barney Selebano being the HOD. One sentence, there is no need for any other explanation. The necklace is tied, it's permanent. It's a painful thing to carry. It embarrasses you, it hurts your family, it hurts your friends, it hurts my comrades. They ask me, what happened, Barney? Can't you shift the blame to somebody? I said, that's not me. Let me carry the cross. I was suspended. I didn't even want to argue because I knew the families are fuming. It is true. They it. They, Christine, I still hear her voice in Ranfat saying, you and life as a demand, if she can recall, you and life as a demand. Why don't you sit? Maybe Nkacha didn't say that, he was there. Why don't you sit and resolve your problems? Don't burden us with this thing. If it's all about money, why are you doing this? And these are the telltale signs that there was a young lady who said, you must, and that's where the question came, you must guarantee me that my young, I think it was, she was talking about my younger brother. She gave a history that my brother gets lost and we battle and we find. And indeed, ever since the brother has been here, it's fine. If you leave that brother, you must give me that guarantee. And that is what I was saying, that we're not now coming up with, we're sitting with Musenuche. We talk well, we talk every time. We were sitting and saying, what are we doing here? And we hashed up a plan. And the plan didn't work. We said, can't we extend this thing? Can't we do this? Can't we do that? Sometimes, intentional or unintentionally, government can fail you. It can really bring, and the worst part of failing you, it brings pain to the poorest of the poor, like you were saying, the most vulnerable. Families that have nothing. That's where, and that is where actually it should be strong. And we're weak. And I'm saying to families, wherever you meet me in the street, in fact, I'm asking you justice, and I'm hoping I will talk to Section 27. I know the offices in Braamfontein. I've always been going there. I'll talk to Mark. I want to find a way also. I want to find a way. I'm sure, and I've spoken to 1 or 2 managers, but this is my way. I want to find an opportunity to go to individual families, away from the media, away from everything, go home there in an African home, where even when there's a last tea bag, they'll say, drink the tea, and humble themselves, and humble myself and say, Mama, I brought you a lot of pain. And I know what might probably happen. They'll say, don't come into our house, get out. You messed us up, you come here, out. And I resolved in my heart, Justice, that if they do that, I will come back again. And I will come back again. And they'll say, come in. And I'll come in and they'll say, don't ever come in our house. And I'll come back again. And they'll say, what is your story? And I'll say, I want you to forgive me at a personal level. Forget the department. And if I have to walk the streets and the miles around Gauteng, I want to do that. If the families, I want to ask a few families after this, obviously I don't want to interfere with your processes. I want to ask a few families, then I can go there. And I want it to be properly arranged so that I don't seem to be intruding into the privacy. But I just want to go to individual families and say, me, not as Dr. Barney, not as anything, just as a human being. I want to come to you and say, if I could ask God to reverse this process, I would really ask God to reverse this process. You didn't deserve this type of thing. And I'm so sorry about that. This is where people will say you die many, many, many times. Some of us, in myself in particular, I die many, many times. It's not easy. You know, Justice, you said it easily yesterday when you said you are going to be able to sleep tonight. You said that. And I said, I wonder if Justice knows that it's so difficult to sleep. At 1 a.m., you wonder, somebody somewhere is sitting and crying and saying, but why did these people do this to us? I'm so sorry. And I'm so remorseful. The problem with remorse, you can't measure it and say, this is remorse. That's why I want to go to individual families. I want you to open your homes for me. And you don't have to open your hearts as yet. Just open your homes. If you want me to talk to you at the gate, I'll talk at the gate. Hi, Mama. I know that, Mama. I know that. It's very, I can't explain it. I don't know how much can I ask for forgiveness. As human beings, our capacity to forgive is limited. We always hope that God gives us power to be able to cross the path of anger and forgive others. I know what you are saying, Mom. And that is why perhaps I want to go to the individual homes and touch each and every family so that I can, as you touch me, I can touch you and we feel the pain together. It has been the worst nightmare of my life. And I hope God will chart a way for all of us. And those managers who implemented the program, they must also find themselves. But before I even finish, Justice, I want to say something. I want to say, I suspected that you could see my heart. When you were pressing me to give you a name, I'm the type of person who says, carry the cross. I hope the leaders who will be coming here, typical of our leaders, if they hear these cries, these families don't want excuses. They're not going to be happy to hear, no, it's the HOD, no, it's so and so. We must all take accountability for what we have done. It can't be that, like it always happens, it's not me, I'm just up there, I don't see anything, it is the official. I hope and I trust them that they'll have the courage of being leaders and not try, if they can hear these cries, and not try and make it happy and nice for themselves. I'm just an oversight. I didn't know it is the HOD. I'm hoping they don't do that. They must be honest. We must all be honest, Justice. We must confront the demon that we have created and say, we humble ourselves I kneel, I ask for forgiveness. Please find it in your heart to forgive me. I also want to say, Justice, I want to say, Justice, again, that I want to extend my appreciation to council that is here. They are good people. Council, I'll start that side, Council Kraus. I thank you very much. You are representing what we are failing to represent, and I thank you very much. I think I just heard now, Council Stein, please pass my regards to Advocate Hasim. I've worked with her previously. Council Nguchana, I don't know your assistant. Thank you very much, sir. You are doing what all of us should be doing to protect the weak. And I also gained a brother, Advocate Dirk Groenewald, if you don't mind, I call you by name, Dirk. After yesterday, Dirk, there's something remarkable that you did for me with your colleague. And I said, the human spirit will always be above all of us. You came and we hugged, if you recall, and we held each other like brothers that have known each other forever. And I thank you for that. And I truly thank you for that. You are a good brother. We will meet in a mall one day. And Advocate, and thank you to your colleague, I missed your name, sir. And Advocate Hutama, thank you very much. You are doing what we should have done for our own people here, and we have failed dismally. And with your colleagues, I may not know them with their name. The last point, Justice, I hope that God gives you the strength. I hope that if you know the story of Solomon, he was generally confronted by difficult problems. But he sat there, and God gave him wisdom. And he could untangle difficult problems. I hope you find that wisdom that you have, God adds more, so that we find finally closure for our families. Like I said, I want to go to them. But also, it's a difficult leadership role. I hope God also makes you Moses, that you carry this journey in a difficult situation. Every day, coming here, listening to pain. If you check the Bible, that's what exactly Moses went through. Listening to pain, listening to people. And I hope, lastly, that I would like to touch just one family, if it allows, so that I can start a chain where I'll be able to touch other families. I hope I can just touch one family and say, I'm starting a chain. Can I visit you at your homes so that I can start a chain where we can start talking? And if you are free as families to say anything to me, I will absorb it, and I will take it. Can I just touch one family, Justice?
Father, I ask you to come, Father Mabue. Father is a believer like you, and I think it will be much easier for you to talk about forgiveness.